Hey, bear with me, I need to tell you a story before we get started. So this morning I decided to come to school to get some work done and to make some recordings. And I got in here and it is as cold as ice in here. You can see how I'm dressed. Then I get here and I realize, oh my gosh, I didn't eat breakfast. Boys and girls, I'm so hungry, I could eat a horse. So then I'm like, okay, I need to get to work. So I go to look for the Sharpie pen. I had just put it down on my desk and I couldn't find it. I think the Sharpie pen must have gotten up and walked away. And then, I don't know if you can hear it, but the humming of the air conditioner is kind of interrupting my thoughts. I'm trying to get some work done here. But I think we're okay now, so it's totally time to turn this into a terrific teaching moment. So boys and girls, that little story I just told you was filled with something called figurative language. And you're going to notice in your journal today, in the activities tab, a picture of this. And it says, we're not puzzled by figurative language. Figurative language is something that good writers use to make your writing just kind of pop and make it more interesting. So I used 5 examples of figurative language, and each one is a different type of figurative language. So I'm going to talk to you about it. So first I said, it's as cold as ice in here. That is called a simile, and it's right here. So another example, Grandma would stand as proud as a peacock. Simile is when you compare two things using the words like or as. So I'm comparing the classroom to ice. I'm comparing those two things and I'm using the word as. It's as cold as ice in here. So that would be an example of a simile. So the next one I have, I'm so hungry I could eat a horse. That is an example of hyperbole. Right here, the townspeople say Grandma's flowers are the most exquisite flowers in the entire world. Hyperbole is when you exaggerate something. So I was trying to say I was hungry, but I exaggerated a little bit because I said, I'm so hungry I could eat a horse. Well, that's an exaggeration. Of course I'm not that hungry. So the next type of figurative language, the Sharpie pen must have gotten up and walked away. That is an example of personification. And if you look at that word, it has person at the beginning. It's when you take something that is not human or that's inanimate. That means it's not human. It can't get up and walk. It can't do those things. And you give it a characteristic of a human. So a Sharpie pen is inanimate. I said that it got up and walked away, which is something a human could do. So that is called personification. Another type of figurative language, the humming of the air conditioner is interrupting my thoughts. This is an example, I love to say this one, of onomatopoeia. And good thing I'm not going to ask you to spell that. Onomatopoeia is when you have words that kind of make sounds, like buzz, kind of sounds like buzzing. Hum, it kind of sounds like what the word means. So the humming of the air conditioner is using onomatopoeia. And then the last type of figurative language that I used in my story is, it's totally time to turn this into a terrific teaching moment. If you notice carefully, a lot of the words begin with the same letter. They begin with the letter T. When you write a sentence like that, it kind of makes the sentence pop, and that is called alliteration. When you use many of the words in the sentence, most of them, or sometimes all of them, start with the same letter, and that is called alliteration. So, there we go, alliteration right there. So, that's going to be helping you with a story that I'm going to be reading to you later. You're going to be using what you've learned about figurative language, and this worksheet or this chart for you that I'm going to be putting into the activities tab when it's time for you to use it. But just kind of a fun way to introduce you to what good writers use. They use figurative language.